Now we're looking at a very, very common garden problem. Many of you have azaleas at home, but you can see this azalea looks very dull. When we come and look at the leaf carefully, we'll see the leaf is heavily mottled. That's azalea lacebug. Azalea lacebug affects the majority of azaleas around Brisbane, and the damage done is permanent. It's disfigured the leaf and it won't come back green. All we can do is preventative, and we're preventing so all the new growth will turn out green and stay green. Now, azalea lacebug affects the majority of azaleas, so I recommend that you take a bit of your leaf in a sealed bag to your local garden centre and show them. They'll instantly say if it is azalea lacebug, and they will recommend a spray. The sprays have to be recommended to cure your problem. You can't just give any spray for any issue. There's fungicides, insecticides. You need to check which is the right one. And on the back of the packet, it will state if it's suitable for the use you want. It will also tell you what you can use it on. Once you have one spray, you don't use it everywhere in the garden, because certain sprays you don't use on edibles because it stays in and can taint the fruit. So check carefully what you've got, and then you come along and you spray. You spray early morning or late afternoon. That way the wind is down and you're not spreading the spray onto other plants, people, pets or small children. And once you've sprayed, keep the area clear until the spray has dissolved and stops dripping. This particular spray is a systemic. It's sucked into the plant, circulates and keeps it clean for up to 3 to 6 months, depending on which one you're using. Now we'll go on and see what happens after we've sprayed for the next lot of new growth. Now we've come along to one which was sprayed earlier. You can see all the new growth is coming out nice and clean. There's no damage to the leaves. Now we will have to keep spraying this one regularly, about every 3 months, to keep it nice and clean. All the old damage, as you can see, has stayed on, and we can't do anything about that. But when it comes to spring, summer and autumn, we're going to give it a feed of an azalea, camellia and gardenia food to help it get over it. You always stick to the appropriate food for each plant. Azaleas, camellias and gardenias like a slightly acid fertiliser, and so that is their preferred mix. And in this area, it's all azaleas and camellias. Also, if you have blueberries, it's their favourite food as well. Now we've come up to a citrus tree. What happens with a general plant? One thing goes wrong, it's a sign for every other critter and bug to come and play. Now the first thing we'd look at is over here. The large gnarly bits on the leaves and stems is a gall wasp. The wasp has stung, laid its eggs, the area develops and you end up with a huge bump. Now on the older ones you can see there's little holes, and the pinhead holes means the next lot of wasps have hatched and flown away to come and visit another day. Now that's older wood and we know that's much older damage. Gall wasps always sting on fresh growth, and it is a requirement that all gall wasp is cut out of the plant and thrown away. Even with it being on the older wood, some would say the bugger's gone, que sera, but it still is affecting the plant, especially with this poor little darling. So much wrong, so much trouble. So since we've got one thing gone wrong, our next friend to visit is leaf miner. As you can see, the little silvery lines going through the leaf is where the insect has stung, laid an egg, and the larvae has crawled right through and eaten its way to a point where it's escaped to fly away and sting another day. Now, since that's between two levels of leaf, spraying it doesn't kill it. Being a citrus, we can't spray with anything systemic because we're going to eat the fruit. So the only way to cure this is prevention. Botanical oil, white oil, one of the oils every 10 days is the only way you can go to protect citrus. First thing we'd be doing though is cutting back all the damage, feeding, and then giving it a nice rounded fertiliser. Some of the leaves you can see are mottled and veined and showing signs that it's very hungry. So we're going to give it a good feed of a citrus food. That way we know we've given it all the trace elements and vitamins that it needs to produce. Now, another sign that this little darling's in trouble, it started to revert. And this is called the understock. This is the original root stem they've used and it's been grafted here. This has come out below the graft line and is a no-no. Remove it. The understock will take over and it won't give you good fruit. It will just take over and the tree's, well, really not keeping for this one if we let that happen. So we're going on to our next problem. We've got scale. Now, scale is that little bump on the leaf, fairly smooth, and it's a sap sucking. It's sucking all the goodness out. You'll find it on the top side or the underside, and it's another one come in to live because the tree is stressed. One of the side effects of having scale and mealybug is sooty mould. Now, that itself is not a disease. It's a coating on the leaf. Now, once on, it's a bit hard to get off, but it does cut down the amount of sunlight the plant can suck in to do what it needs to do. So always try to keep it in good shape. The white oil will help clean it up. And again, feeding spring, summer and autumn with a really good quality food. Change the type of citrus food you use. I usually use 2 or 3 different types. When I'm finished with one packet, I go to another brand and another brand. If I gave you steak and veggies every night for dinner, in the end you'd be deficient in something, a trace element or board. And so then you swap to another one. Now we'll come back and visit this baby in say another few months after we've pruned it and fed it.